How's it going, everyone? It looks like I am off mute, so that's a good start. And I do not have Tayan this week. Tayan is actually in Texas. So I do have a couple guests, but I'm going to let some people kind of feed in here a little bit. Tonight we have Dante Dellam. I always say this name wrong, but I'm going to try Dellamore, um, close as I can, who is the photographer extreme from Pure Expo and from Hong Kong. We also have Ghostly Production, which is out of Owensboro, Kentucky. And I know Peyton's got a guest with him tonight. So we'll go ahead and introduce those guys pretty soon. But for right now, go ahead and say hi or give us a comment. Let me know who's out there. And we can start out a little bit of that, talk a little bit about any questions you might have. It looks like we have Chris on here. What's up, Chris? Chris, can you hear me?
Sorry, I'm trying. I had a little bit of a mishap with the resetting of my desktop. So I'm here and I have a cow as my avatar. I'm not sure why that's there, but we're good to go.
All right. Well, I see Kooky Spooky Costumes here. So what's up, Kooky Spooky? Anyone else here? Dana Barnes, hello. And yeah, so this officially kicks off our couple months of vendor guests. We have a full schedule ahead of us. We've actually booked all the way into the second week of August. So we'll probably roll out a graphic this week showing all the guests that we have over the next couple of weeks, including David Quinn, who will be coming on the third week of May to teach a class. So Mason's here too. What's up, Mason? Mason should be getting his stuff really soon. So yeah, I just wanted to give a little time. I know we didn't do a lot of sharing before the show started, so it's probably taking a little bit for some people to feed in. So anyways, I know it's been a busy week for all the hunters. I've talked to a lot of my owner friends, and they've been extremely busy getting their haunts ready. Oh, you got your logo changed, Chris. It says for Expo now.
Yeah, that's the proper logo I have. There's a cow sometime. I think Jason knows about the cow, but you all don't. So we're good.
I know. It looks like Kayla is on here. Kayla Lawson. Builders or subscriptions starting to go up. I'm seeing more people coming from different channels now. Yeah. So here in a few minutes, we'll be able to go ahead and get our first guest. Where's Molly at? Dana asked. I think Molly, if I'm not mistaken, is on a cruise or just getting back from a cruise.
We're talking Molly Z?
Yeah, Molly Z. Josh Lucas is on here. What's up, Josh? And then also we've got Michael, or Michelle. I'm sorry. Let me see. Hold on. My screen is not showing me that. Is that Michael or Michelle?
It's Michael Island.
Island. Okay, Michael.
Yep.
I don't know why I couldn't read that very well. Then Josh Lucas is on here. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about Dante. Really, it's going to be fun to talk to him about all the different stuff he's done, and I'm probably killing that name. I'm known for killing names. No, it's Michael. Wait. New last name, got married. Okay, perfect.
All right.
It's Mike Murray.
Oh.
What?
Okay. Congratulations.
Yes. Wait, we need to have Mike on here as a guest just so we can find out all that stuff too. But yeah, I'm excited about, I just got a whole bunch of pictures dropped on me today from Sony Box. He sent over three drives full of pictures.
Cool.
Dana's asking about our gorgeous dog Molly. Yep, she's being a little pain in the butt today, but such as dogs. And I'm wearing another new hat today. I keep getting hats in the mail.
That's the same hat as last week. Don't make no mistake.
No,
This here,
last week's.
Nobody has this one except for me and you. Look at that,
I have
look at
that one too. Yep. Actually, last week's hat was Malice. I was wearing my black Malice hat. So, and this is another one from Halloween Shirt Company.
All right.
Well, hey, what do you say we go ahead and get started, and we get the photographer extraordinaire out here, kind of talk about some of these great photos and just the art that went into making. I mean, everything I've seen him do is just incredible. Absolutely.
His photography and the innovation he does with, he's been doing, it seems like he's progressing from one show to the next, regardless of who the show is.
Yeah.
Going from like awesome photography to pro shots in his booth to adding lighting to adding some weird, cool handheld fog thing that he does now.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So I'd love to hear all about it. So if we're ready, let me bring him in.
Yep, let's do that. And there's Crystal and Molly. Hello to both of you.
Oh, and there he is.
All right. So first of all, I have to ask, am I saying the name wrong? Is it Dante?
It's Dante.
Dante.
Like Dante's Inferno.
All right. All right.
All right, Dante. We'll call you Dante from now on.
I'm fine with Dante. That's cool too.
It'll only take me 20 times. I was calling you Dante all at HauntCon, but
that's fine.
Completely. You're traveling, aren't you?
I'm traveling. I'm actually in Daytona right now for Rockville. So.
Okay. All right.
Territory.
Yeah. So we were. I'm in Daytona this weekend for Rockville. Working with the band Kitty. It's mostly live shots, and then last weekend I was in Maryland for a romance author convention, which is actually the bulk of what I do are these independent romance author conventions. I do a lot of just like expo work where I go around, just do pictures of the floor and stuff like that. Next week I'm at Hell City Tattoo Expo in Columbus, and then I get a couple weeks off, and then I'm back on the road again for several more romance author conventions. So.
Now, where do you call home? What is your hometown that you're living in?
Danville, Illinois.
Illinois. Okay.
Really small town, kind of right next to the Indiana border. I'm closer to Indianapolis than I am Chicago. A lot of people always think Chicago, but I'm actually closer to Indianapolis.
Okay. And what do you do basically starting, in what we consider the season? So what does your October look like? Are you already booked? Are you looking for stuff to do in October?
October right now, I am booked for. I do have a couple events going on in October. Those events though are not haunt based. I actually rarely get hit up about haunt based stuff in October, mostly because people when they want haunt photos, they actually want the photos a couple months prior so that they're able to use them to promote for the haunt. So usually haunt season's in full swing by that time. So I'm kind of not needed in that aspect, since everything I do is usually I light it myself. And we do a lot of posing. There's not a lot of like live shots in a haunt because it is very hard to get good lighting in a haunt, and also in like really close quarter areas. Like at least the style I do. I've seen some photographers that are phenomenal at doing it. I'm just not real good if I can't light it myself. I want to be able to add my own light, my own smoke. I want to be able to move my lights around where I need to. And a lot of haunts, they'll have areas that I can get those shots in, but then you have a lot of very claustrophobic small areas where those light stands just don't fit. So working in October, it's kind of not haunt based usually for me. I got a wedding. I'm shooting a wedding in October in Salem. And then there's another romance author convention in October. So I mean, there's a lot of kind of off-brand things that I do in October that you wouldn't think that I would be doing then. Most of my haunt shoots or the horror-based photography, it's usually done in September.
Okay.
Like September and August is kind of when we get all those shots. That way we have the content for October already built up.
Yeah, no, you see, with a haunted attraction like mine, we actually want to get a lot of shots of our crowd, of people going through, of them getting scared, and then we'll use it for the next year's marketing.
Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering, if you get a lot of work, but maybe we're not the common haunted attraction, because I do know you're right. A lot of haunts do the shots in August, September, to start promoting. Where I think maybe some of the larger haunts, they start to think about their promoting the year prior.
Yeah.
So, another thing, now you've done some amazing shots that I've seen, both at HauntCon and Fear Expo.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, I was looking at our list, and it's been 3 years now, because we had you at Fear Expo, then HauntCon, then Fear Expo again.
Correct.
Each year, I'm just taken back more and more about the development and where your pictures have gone. But I also think it has to do with the fact that I think we're getting better elements for you to have fun with. I mean, like this year, the costume contest and the fashion show and stuff like that. I mean, when you have events like that, I mean, does that really get you excited to be able to do personal stuff and really step outside of what you normally see at some of these shows?
Yeah, it does, because a lot of the times for me to do shots like that, it's very costly. Like, so if I bring in my own model, most of the time the model themselves are not going to front the bill for a $3,200 build out on a costume piece or a haunt piece. So coming to these events, I'm opened up to a wide variety of creatives that have all built, amazing prop pieces, amazing costumes, are great with FX work, great with makeup, just great with prosthetics in general. So that's the kind of stuff that I wouldn't normally have access to if it wasn't for things like HauntCon and Fear Expo. I would be still just shooting models at small events that I'm kind of relying on them to bring their own stuff with them, and sometimes they don't. One of the biggest questions I get when people reach out to me is, do you provide all the props? They'll see the photos I post and they'll say, hey, I'd love to work with you. Can you provide all those props? And I'm like, well, no, because, you're reaching out about a piece that, say, like Brandy Beast built, and her piece, between makeup, effects, bodysuit, headpiece, you're looking at, anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not providing those pieces, but like the stuff he's showing right there, I mean, that's all stuff that, I can't afford to carry all of that stuff around with me. So being at these expos, I'm actually able to take pictures of these people and the art that other people have created. So yeah, that's why I love doing these events.
Yeah, and we love having you there, because I don't get a chance to see a lot of this. I mean, I really don't, because I'm so busy. I mean, you've ran into the office sometimes when you catch me in there, and then other times you see me there at 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have time to see a lot of this. And then I go back and I look at your photos, and you just capture those moments that I missed. I absolutely love to see this.
I love that one.
And I see there's Vice, and she's actually on here. She just made a comment. Dante's work is just, I got to put it on here. There we go. Chef's kiss. Incredible from what I have seen. So, yeah, I mean, everyone who's commenting right now, Dante, is saying that, what we all know. I mean, your work is absolutely amazing. And we're so honored that you've, chosen our backdrop, our community to really show off what you can do, because you've definitely showed the entire industry what can be done with having you out there.
Thank you. Yeah, I love being part of this industry. There's a lot of industries that I am part of that they do kind of get stagnant and boring sometimes, because there's not a lot of creativity in what's happening. It's a lot of sports expos that I used to shoot. You would go to those and it would be I wouldn't be the guy shooting the actual sports. I would be shooting the vendor hall, and the vendor hall, they're selling like protein powders and pre-workouts. So it's, 5 days of taking pictures of people selling pre-workout tubs of powders, and
I'm
it's just
sorry, shoot
it's
me
not
right
much.
now.
Yeah, it's not much to take photos of. It's not that interesting.
Yeah.
But getting into something like this, you've got people that, they know how to act, they know how to pose. Like, there's not a lot to do with these people because they already know what to do. They're actors. They do their own, they're in haunts acting, 2 months out of every year, and sometimes even longer, depending on how long their haunts open. They already know the poses. They already know how to goof off and have fun and make it look good. So it's kind of, it's almost like a cheat code in this industry for me, because I get to take pictures of all these people that already know what they're doing, and it just makes me look better. I mean, my photos wouldn't be anything without those people. If people showed up in that costume and just stood there and go, I don't know what to do, like, the photo wouldn't be that interesting.
Right.
Like, they already know what to do. They already know where to go with it. Then my only job then is to figure out how to light it properly. So.
And so how do we take it to the next level? I mean, what does next year look like? I mean, I assume you're going to come to Fear Expo and Hong Kong next year, and possibly West Coast too.
Oh yeah.
So,
anything you want me to do, just gotta give me a call.
So we're going to have you there. I mean, is it as much of a surprise to you when you get there what it ends up becoming? I mean, like this year we had, we had an event that I saw you there taking pictures of, and that was the Freak Show. And some of the pictures you took, I mean, once again, I mean, I didn't even see some of that stuff, the way that you were able to take those photos.
Yeah.
And then go ahead. Sorry.
I would have loved, I think I could have gotten better shots of the Freak Show, but my only problem with events like that is when that room was packed full of people. So I don't want to be in anybody's way, because those people paid to be there. Those people are there for a show, and I don't want to be the guy in between, the show and the crowd that, like, I need to get my shot. Screw all of you guys. No, like, I should be in the background, nobody really noticing me, and getting my shots. So as cool as that was, there was a lot of times that I really wanted to get up closer to the stage, but then I knew I would be standing in front of the people in the front rows view. I did get some good shots. I really enjoyed some of the shots I got, but I feel like I could have done better if I would have been a little more prepared on my end, knowing their show. I didn't know their show in advance. So,
and that was a conversation I was having with Will and with Chris, is next year, because we know our events ahead of time most of the time, and we know what it's going to look like. But we never think about, hey, let's get Dante involved in this so you can plan to be able to take those shots, whether it means you need a high rise in a certain area, you need lighting to do a certain thing. I think the more that we get to know you, the more we get to work with you, the conversation that you and I had about the band and the problems with the lighting there.
Yeah.
That's all stuff that is going to just keep making our show get better. And of course, give you more amazing shots to take every year.
Right. Concerts are always hard, actually. So that being said, with the problems I had with the lighting during the concert, it looked great for everybody else, because it looks great to the standard concert goer, when there's strobes and dark reds and dark blues, but for a photographer, there has to be a highlight. I have to have some highlight to be able to focus my camera. And when the whole room is dark and you're using dark colors on the stage, which at that time there were highlight lights there, but they just were not being utilized at the moment. So most of those shots come out very dark, very kind of sludgy looking. They're not as bright and vibrant as they could be. So yeah, those are just, and those are minor tweaks. Like, that's not like a game deal breaker. Right. In any form. It's just one of those things that you have to step back and look at it and go, okay, like, so next year we need to have a couple highlights on the stage. And I'm not saying you have to have bright white lights lining your stage. But if you have, you know, dark colors behind, you do need like a brighter highlight color in the front just to give that, you know, so everybody can actually see the people on the stage and it's not just dark. So, but I mean, watching the show looked fine. Like I watched it and then I went to take a photo and I was like, yeah, it's really, really dark. My camera is not accustomed to that. So,
well, Vice just asked a question. And what she wants to know, what is the hardest thing you find or have done for a shoot?
Hardest thing I find. I'm not sure if I fully understand that question, but I would say the hardest shoot I've ever done, I posted in my story recently. I actually broke my camera during this shoot. We were shooting in an abandoned what was it? It was a warehouse. It was an abandoned warehouse in Warsaw, Indiana. And the theme was I had this old wedding dress. My friend's daughter was there. She was, I think, 12 or 13 at the time. And her mom and her boyfriend, we used to shoot all the time together. We haven't recently in the last couple of years. We've done a few small shoots, but I'm just on the road so often that I've not found the time to be able to get together with all three of them and do shoots. But every year we would do a big Halloween shoot with her daughter and her boyfriend. And it was, so this shoot ended up being in this abandoned warehouse. I had this old wedding dress that she was wearing, and it was supposed to be like this flowy, ghost-like photo with kind of just this decrepit looking background in the back because it's, you know, an old factory. And it started pouring. And there was no there was skylights in the building, but all the glass was broken and gone out of the skylights. So it's pouring inside this place. We can't really move any of the stuff back outside because I would soak all my gear. Yeah. So instead, we stuck her in the middle of one of the skylights where it was pouring rain in and just soaked her with water. And I had to shoot, I had to reposition all my strobes in a way that they wouldn't get wet. And basically we shot that, and they're on my Instagram. If you scroll down a little bit, there looks like a girl in a wet dress she's holding like a bouquet of flowers, and she's got like some dark eye makeup on and stuff like that. We got beautiful, beautiful shots out of it because all the rain was lit up, and she's like, it looks dreary and dark, and it was one of my favorite shots for a couple of years. But that was one of the hardest ones because it was pouring. It was a very last minute thing. It went from nice outside with a little bit of clouds to just a torrential downpour. And we had the cops show up right when we were in the middle of that shoot. So I had two cops standing there, like chatting with us about like what we were doing, even though we'd had permission to be in the building. Cops just didn't know what was going on with all these cars that we had parked around the building and all the lights that were flashing through the broken windows. But yeah, that's probably the hardest shoot I've ever done. Most interesting thing that I've had to go out and find was I had to find an old Bible for a video shoot I was doing behind the scenes for a music video for the band Kitty. And I went and found this. I was bringing a bunch of props because it was a very last minute video shoot. So they didn't have all the props they needed, and they are based in Canada, so they couldn't bring a lot of the stuff with them either. So I brought some like real human skulls with me, some candelabras, and a bunch of other stuff. It's all in their new music video that's out. But I went and found this old Bible from the 1800s. It's ones with like the big metal clasps. And I had to drive out into the middle of nowhere to pick this thing up on my way to Detroit. And then we didn't even use it because the thing weighed like 40 pounds. It's the heaviest Bible I've ever seen. And I've tried to use it in a couple photo shoots, but I just don't know how because it's so heavy. So that's the hardest thing I've ever had to go pick up and find, and then never got used. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, we are running really close to the end of our time, but I wanted to ask you, is there anything that we need to know about you? Maybe about upcoming schedules. Can people hire you? Where do they go to find you? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So down below, that's my Instagram. You can follow me on there. If you have any needs when it comes to haunts or personal photo shoots that you want to do, reach out. I'm always traveling, always available. If I can't do it right now, I might be coming through your area at some point. You never know. So just reach out and see where I'm going to be at, and we'll try to work something out. That's about it. All the events I've got coming up are romance conventions and tour dates with bands. That's why I'm in Rockville right now, is for or in Daytona is for Rockville with Kitty at the moment. So yeah, that's about it.
Nice. Well, we definitely plan on seeing you at least 3 times next year. I know I'll see you at Fair Expo in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
And West Coast, that'll be a fun one to have you out there as well. A little bit more of a drive. You and I are going to have to fly instead of drive.
That's fine. I drove to Daytona.
Exactly. So have a good time down there in Florida, and we're definitely keeping contact. And I'm really glad you came on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Always good talking to you, and looking forward to seeing more of the photographs that you put out there on your site. Make sure you guys check out Dante. He is always doing something cool. Follow him on Instagram, and we will talk to you later, sir.
Awesome.
Have a good one. All right. So I see that Vice, she's been on here asking a couple good questions about Deontay. The nice thing about it is not only is he so creative with everything he comes up with, the fact that he just, I was watching him do some of the photo work there at Fair Expo, and he's very, very, he doesn't take the credit, for some of the stuff he comes up with. I know our actors, they do a good job of acting, but he was like, hey, turn this way, turn that way. And you could see that photograph just come to life, especially with some of those private sessions that he was doing at some of the booths. So very talented. I'm so glad he's part of our team. And like everyone's saying, fabulous work. What's up, Jared? Good to see you here.
No, he does so much good work. He taps into what I used to be a part of, which is the band community. Like he mentioned Kitty, a band. In fact, when Kitty started, they were like little kids, and we were a band in Grand Rapids, which you're from. We were able to play with, but his opportunities to photograph people is amazing, and he produces this great work.
Yeah, I'm always excited when we start getting what I call the drops of photographs. We get a few here, a few there, and it's it's kind of like when you used to get the photographs from Walmart or whatever. You hurry up and you thumb through them because there's always so many good ones. And we're gonna do a photo drop here real soon. Now that we have all of the photographs from Sony Box as well. So which are the photos that were taken when you first walked in. So we'll be having a lot of those dropped as well. Okay, well, our next guest it was one of the vendors at Fair Expo, I believe, for the last 2 years. He's going to have to, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they were there the first year. Maybe they were. We'll have to find out. But they're from Owensboro. And there's Peyton. Peyton, who is that with you?
So this is my buddy Dakota.
Dakota.
He actually helps me with a lot of the production of stuff, and he's the man behind that infamous pumpkin mask.
Oh, the man, the myth, the legend. There he is.
Right.
That is by far. I'm gonna see if Chris can find that picture too. Seeing that we know that's you, I just put Chris to work.
I will look for it. Thank you. Goodbye.
I know it's a cover of something, Chris, but I don't know if we want to show that one. So Dakota, you're the one who came up with that design, and you were wearing it at the ball. Am I correct?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
what
he
gave
was
you
wearing
the
it at
inspiration?
I've always been a pumpkin guy ever since I was little. I've always had a pumpkin during Halloween. My dad would spend his entire paycheck on pumpkins the week before Halloween, and I'd carve them well into Thanksgiving. And whenever I met Peyton, we started making pumpkins, and I've always wanted to have a pumpkin on my head. So I've made many different iterations of it, and that one is, I think, the final one, and a lot of people really, really like it.
Oh, I know people wanted to buy it. I included myself. So I was pretty impressed by that one. I really liked it. Peyton, you're getting a lot of love here. A lot of people are saying hello, but they're also saying that you and Dakota are extremely talented. Everyone's saying hi. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do there in Owensboro, Kentucky?
All right. So this started probably about 7 years ago or so. But Dakota and I, we've always been like huge Halloween fans, huge horror fans as well. And it really started out as a hobby. So I remember we actually made our very first mask in his basement. Had absolutely like no idea what we were doing, but somehow managed to make something that like I still think holds up and looks pretty cool. And that kind of continued, and I actually had the opportunity to open up Ghostly Productions, which is a year-round Halloween store here in Owensboro, where you've got a little bit of a blend between your mass-produced stuff with Trick or Treat Studios and Fun World, all that cool stuff, but you also get to see all of the custom stuff. So all of the stuff that you saw in our Fear Expo booth is actually up front of the shop. So you get to actually come in. First thing you see is all the custom masks, all the custom like props and decorations, and all that cool stuff. So now I get to literally have Halloween 365 days a year and pull him into all sorts of crazy projects and travel and sit up at these conventions.
Now, a lot of people don't know this, and I don't even know if you know this, but you were the first person that I actually met in Owensboro because I hadn't even toured the convention center yet. And I was walking through town and I walked into your guys' shop. I was like, oh, what's this? And you actually gave Chris and I think Chris was with me that day, a ghost tour around Owensboro before we even knew for sure we were bringing Fear Expo there. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. So you saw the store like really, really early on, because that was that 3.5 years ago, something like that now.
4 years. Yeah, almost 4 years
So
now.
yeah, so the store, we opened the store August of 2020. So you would have seen it like really, really early on. So at that point, we were still very much trying to figure out exactly how we wanted to run things over here. So at that point, it was like you were starting to get a few of the collectibles and custom stuff in, and I was still very much, coming to my own as like a mask maker, trying to, get all of that stuff going. And at that point, I had probably, I don't know, maybe 5 different molds, which now at this point I've got probably over 30 different custom mask molds. And
It's crazy.
you go into the workshop now and it's basically, the entire wall is just filled up with different molds, whether it be for masks, whether it be for our pumpkin props, which we actually just debuted a few months back, which really took off and got super popular. But it's never a dull moment. So maybe by the next time you come in, it might have even changed again. You never know.
It'll take over the whole house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, and I follow you guys, on social media, and I see you have these Hearst meetings, and I see you have, I mean, you were really active throughout the entire year, which, you're not a haunt owner, but I mean, you stay into the industry just as much as a haunt owner does, if not more, because you are constantly coming up with events, coming up with different fun things to do throughout the entire season. Why don't you tell us a little bit about maybe some of the stuff you got coming up this year?
So the next big event that we have is actually a mask collectors meet. And we're actually going to host that here in our vintage display room of the shop. We'll have like shelving and stuff like that set up for people. But the idea behind that's is to get a lot of mask collectors together in a place for people to actually hang out. We'll have some like movie marathons going. And really a good place for people to come together and like-minded. So Owensboro is one of those places where the horror community didn't really have a lot, to do before we really came around. So it's like, since we've opened up the shop here, it's like we've gotten a lot of people that have kind of like come out of the woodwork, and they're like, oh my God, now we actually have a place to come hang out. And, so it's like, I've got regulars that are in like every week. Sometimes people hang out here in the display room and watch movies. It's like, but it's never a dull moment. It's always cool getting to meet other collectors. And the reason I love the haunt conventions like, Fear Expo is that you've got people from like, you've got your like collector side of stuff. It's like, now it's primarily people who have haunts that, are there shopping for their haunts, but you do have a little bit of the people that are there to, add to their collections, here and there. And it's also a really cool place to meet other mask makers, which, I was able to talk to a few different makers. And some of the mask makers, I've actually got some of their masks in my collections and never put the face behind the mask together. And then it's like, sitting there talking is our booth neighbors, like right across the aisle from us. And I cannot pronounce the name of their business. But it was they did their own rendition of a Topstone Graveyard Devil,
Nice.
which I've had in my collection for the last couple of years. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there talking to them as they're setting up, and they put that up on the rack. I'm like, I've had that on my wall for like 2 years now. But it's also cool because, I'm constantly doing custom masks, and we're now able to actually pair up with a couple costume makers.
Mhm.
I just sent out a pair of pumpkin twins out to Kooky Spooky Costumes.
Nice.
They've got some like really cool like concepts going, and I don't want to steal their thunder too much on that because they said that they would be posting photos once they get everything finished up, and once they post photos, we'll be sharing them on our page and all of that cool stuff. But it's also a cool side of things that's with the custom masks. I'm so used to collectors buying stuff, which is cool, but those masks, they go up on a shelf. Most of the time they're untrimmed. Sometimes you foam fill them, but those go up on a shelf. Whenever you go to a haunter convention like this, those masks are getting used.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's kind of like it's a little bit of a challenge. Like, how do you make this practical? Like, you've got a really cool idea, but how do you make it practical? How do you make it wearable? You gotta have good visibility, you gotta have good breathability. And of course you have to have a really cool concept. So it's like everything you're creating, is actually getting used for what you intended it to be used for.
Yeah, and I think, I've talked to other mask makers who's made stuff for collectors and who's made stuff, for haunters. And the cool thing about it is, especially when it's your creation, it's something you came up with a concept to actually see your mask being used at a haunted attraction, your characters come into life. That's got to be a really cool thing for you. I mean,
Right.
Imagine one day you go to a haunted attraction in New Jersey and you walk in and they have your mask on with the costume that you envisioned, and there's your creature coming to life to scare you. I mean,
Right.
that's got to be cool, because you don't know where
That would
they
be
all
super
go.
cool. Right.
Um, So a couple things here. Let me see here real quick. It was said that you also do fundraising. Crystal mentioned that you guys do fundraising throughout the year. Vice asked if you're going to be going live through that upcoming event, if it's going to be live on your social media channels.
So we will probably do a live video for it. Once we get everybody set up here, I'll try to get some of the other collectors in on the live video. It's just going to be who wants to be on camera with me. Some people are for it. Some people are kind of, get a little camera shy with it, which, kind of understandable. But I will do my best to show as many of the masks that are brought out. So we try to do a mask collectors meet at least once a year. Last year we had some really cool stuff come out. Somebody brought out, it was a Dawn Post Creature of the Black Lagoon paint master. So unreleased, it's actually something they used in their factory to, basically a paint code. So that was cool to see in person. But yeah, it's like you never really know what's going to come through the door. So that's what makes those events so fun because, I'm a mask collector myself. I love the vintage stuff, and I love the custom stuff as well. So it's like seeing people bring this stuff into the shop and getting to, hang out with them, talk with them, half the time the story about like where people find this stuff is almost just as fun as like seeing the stuff in person.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I mean, be able to sit down and talk to people about some of those masks and the vintage behind them in the story would be a lot of fun. And I noticed that, at the shows at Fair Expo, um, you have time, where you can get out and you can walk around and talk to the other, like you said, the mask designers. And I even saw you over there. I mean, you were on the far side talking to like Josh Lucas, who I saw was on here today, and some of the other designers. I mean, I think that's what's really cool about this is it gives you a chance, like you said, you got to talk with Kooky Spooky Costumes, and you guys are working on something. And I imagine there's a couple other people that you guys are talking with as well.
Mhm.
I think if I could dream of anything for new companies, it's to have that networking. And that's the one thing that I really wanted to make sure happened at these shows is that you guys had an opportunity, as new entrepreneurs to network with some people who've been in the business for a long time, and hopefully you can grow your brand. And I hope that's happening, more than anything at these shows.
Right. And I mean, I think it is. You've got, I mean, anytime you get that many creative people in one location, I think it's a good thing to have. It's one of those. It's like it's always cool to see what other people, see other designs, because it's like I mean, as much of a mask maker and prop builder as I am, I'm still a fan of this stuff. It's like I still like to nerd out from time to time on like, some of the cool stuff that's out there. So it's like getting to see what other people come up with. I mean, it's still super cool. And then, shows like this, where you've got Jordan Shell there, it's like me being a mask maker, it's like one of the shows that actually got me into that was Making Monsters on Travel Channel, where
Right.
you with like distortions and everything. So it's like I'm, was very well aware of his work, and I remember I was still setting up this weekend or this past year rather, and getting all the price tags and all the masks and everything, making sure the booth was where I wanted everything, and Jordan walks up and starts, talking. It's like, yeah, I really like this, really like that. That's a super cool thing there. I like what you did with that T-shirt. It's, super cool. And then like at the end, it's like, yeah, and I'm Jordu, by the way. I'm like, yeah, I know. I think we all know who you are, Jordu, but nice to officially meet you.
He's just so down to earth. I love the fact that, I mean, he called us and he was like, I really want to come to your show. I think it'd be great. And we're like, yeah, we'd love to have you there. And he says, can I teach a class? I said, well, Jordu, we do all of our classes for free. And he goes, no, that's great. I love that. He goes, I need 2 hours though, not 1 hour. I'm like, all right, Jordu, let's teach 2-hour class. So it was really nice to have him there, and he's more than welcome to come back anytime. So
Right.
he actually came to HauntCon and he came to Fair Expo. So
Awesome.
that was really nice. Hello, Scurry Face. What's up? Scurry Face in the house. Josh Lucas, yes, networking. Tan wants to team up with Dakota when she gets back. So she's off in Texas trying to work on her accent, I guess. Just kidding. She's out there, I think, taking classes and doing an internship, I believe. Vice says, hello, Scurry Face. So what's the next 5 years look like for you guys? I mean, do you have a plan on where you guys are going to go, or are you just going to take it day by day and whatever happens?
Scary and spooky is our forte. So
yeah, I mean, I do have a plan on where I want to see the business, but I don't want to say that in a way that it's a rigid plan.
Okay.
So it's like I'm always open to changing what my like viewpoint on like what I want to do. I don't want to like pigeonhole myself and be like, oh, well, that was the original plan. I got to stick to it. But it's one of those things. Like I go back and I can look at some of my early work and be like, oh my god, like what was I doing here? Compared to like some of the newer stuff, it's like, but then also I think to myself, like, that's going to be me like a few years from now looking at the stuff I'm making now. I'm going to be like, oh my God, why did I sculpt that there? So it's always, I've always got that like drive to evolve what we're doing. Because I'm like, I never want to get to the point where I never want to be at a show where you sit there and look like, well, those are all the same stuff he had last year. Every show I want it to be different. Now granted, I might bring back some of the more popular sculpts, but they're going to be finished in a little bit of a different way. But through this though, it's like I want to eventually, it's like I want to continue growing the brand, continue to build a, relationship with other artists out there at these shows, and and then continue to evolve the craft. Now, over the last year, we have actually gotten into animatronic work.
Wow.
So this past year, we did unveil our very first animatronic. We do have some plans for some new animatronics coming that are actually going to hopefully. I want to do it in a way where you can have the electric powered and the pneumatic powered. So that's going to be a. I don't want to give too much away yet because I want to kind of have like a big unveil for what it is. But with everything we do, vintage Halloween stuff has always been a huge inspiration. Vintage Halloween and classic horror. As a kid, the Universal Monsters was really what like started all of this. It's like I remember I would go the local library here, go up. It was the second floor. You would go in, and you would have all of the movies. And I would constantly rent those on VHS. And so you see a lot of that like classic horror inspiration in a lot of the stuff we do. You see a lot of like the vintage Halloween stuff and a lot of the stuff we do. So that being the pumpkins and then a lot of like the Ben Cooper stuff, with like the bright colors and so I try to incorporate that into as much stuff as we do. So it's one of those where I want to stay true to ourselves, stay true to what our inspiration was, and continue to make the stuff that we like. It's like I want to always make sure that that passion is there because it's pretty much the way we've always like worked together. It's like as long as we're passionate about what we're doing, the end product's going to be pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
So as long as we can keep that alive and then continue to evolve, that's just something I never want to see myself in the workshop like blueprinting either an animatronic or a mask and simply doing it because I think it's going to sell.
Right.
That's not what I come at it with. It's now granted, as a business person, obviously you want your stuff to sell, but if you're not truly passionate about it, I don't think anybody's going to buy it regardless. Because I think that'll show in the end result if the passion's not there. So that's why I say it's like I've got an idea of where I want to go with it, but it's like instead of being like, okay, I'm going to make these sculpts here, I'm going to make this animatronic here, and we're going to continue to build this way. It's like if I get that urge to be like, no, I want to go this route with it. Maybe not do this animatronic, maybe not do this mask. I want to be able to have that freedom to do so.
Nice. Really nice. Well, I tell you what, it's been great having you on here. I can't wait to see what you have coming up in the future. I know I'm going to try and get there a little early next time and check out your new, just to see the growth in 4 years. Because
Right.
I mean, even what I'm seeing behind, you're at your location. Am I correct right now?
Yeah, we are actually in the vintage display room right now.
Yeah, and I don't remember any of that, so everything's already changed.
Yeah, I don't even think this room like existed the last time you were here. This was a glorified storage area.
back in the back, that closet way in the back that you said you were going to make into something someday.
Yeah, pretty much. So this turned into the vintage display room with a big screen TV up to show movie marathons, and this is where we host all of our celebrity guests now.
Nice.
So at least one celebrity guest a year, and Graham, Tyler Maine, Bob Elmore.
Wow.
September we got Lee Waddell coming in, so always a fun time.
Well, I always try and catch your live streams whenever I see them out there. So definitely we'll keep promoting them through Fair Expo and keep watching for new things that you have. Really want to thank you so much for coming on today. I mean, you are a perfect example of what we're trying to do with our show is promote the new as well as the vendors that have been there for a long time. and just I saw it earlier. Josh said something, and it makes so much sense, and that's networking. Just the more we can network, between companies like Scurry Face and Spooky Kooky Costumes and Josh Lucas and everyone else who's on here, I think the stronger the community is going to end up being. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about where we can find you, what's your call signs, and we'll go ahead and get you out of here.
Yeah, sounds good. So the best place to follow us is on Facebook. So look up Ghostly Productions on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. We've got TikTok as well. So Ghostly Productions 31 on TikTok if you want to see it behind the scenes of a lot of the masks being made. And website, www.ghostlyproductions.org. And if you're ever in the Owensboro area, stop by the storefront. We're here, all year round. Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 7. So make sure to stop by and see us.
Nice. Well, once again, I appreciate you coming on here. Really thankful that you guys took the time out of your busy day to, come on our show and just talk a little bit about what you guys are up to. Hopefully we're going to have you on again real soon. So good luck with your upcoming events. And if we don't see you sooner, we'll see you a little bit later.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. All right. Well, let's see if we still have Chris around. I've actually been trying to hit Chris up real quick. I know that we have a promotion that I wanted to talk about. So, Chris, if you're in the background, I know you have a lot going on tonight with some stuff at your haunt, but if you're in the background still, definitely jump back on here. Wanted to talk to you about that promotion we talked about. So anyways, it looks like we still have a full house of people, and I don't get a chance to do this very often. I don't have anyone really to talk to right now. So if anyone has any questions about, Fear Expo, about HauntCon, about West Coast, if you have questions about the haunted industry in whole, I can, try and answer some a little bit. I am also a haunt owner. I own a haunted attraction in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So just while I'm waiting for Chris to come on here so I can do that promotion, if you guys have any questions for me or want to talk about anything, I am looking at comments as they come in. So this gives me an opportunity to kind of meet all of you as well. All right. So let's see here. I'm saying hi. Hi as well. Here we go. Here's a very important question. Let me see what it says. Very important question. Where you get that haunt? I want one. Where you get that haunt? I want one. Where do I get a haunted attraction? Is it hat, not haunt. Okay. So I started out talking about this. Every week I try and wear a different hat. I probably have 30 or 40 hats over there. This hat is from Halloween Shirt Company. And they have so many cool hats and so many different pumpkin designs. Definitely check them out. Halloween Shirt Company. They actually do different things for haunted attractions as far as being able to get merchandise into your haunted attraction during the haunt season, help you sell. So definitely check out the guys at Halloween Shirt Company. They're also one of our sponsors. Any news on the HauntCon location? Oh, I am so glad that question came up. So everyone, or maybe not everyone knows, but we ran into a situation this week where we found out, no, it was last week, sorry. Last week we found out that our hotel, which is the Wyndham on I Drive in Orlando, was closing down for 2 years for renovation. New owners, totally, So everyone had to move. Spooky Empire, us, everyone's moving out of there. So we have been searching. We did get an offer to come in to go to the Hilton today, but that was for the January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We feel that wouldn't be a good date to do a show just because people trying to move because of New Year's. If you guys agree or disagree, make sure you let me know. But it was an attractive quote. But right now we are still trying to get quotes, trying to find out where exactly we're going to move it. And we have to be careful because there's a couple big events going on in Orlando at that same time. So as of right now, we do not have the new location. All right, next question. Do you allow guest actors at your haunt? Definitely, definitely. We always have guest actors come to our haunt. Just get a hold of me or message us at thehaunt.com. You can go to Fear Expo, or excuse me, you can go to our website, which is thehaunt.com or scaredmichigan.com, and get a hold of us. Okay, Crystal hat. I don't know what that means. Everyone's talking about, oh, love your hat. I agree. I do too. I have a couple of them and they all have different pumpkins on it. I like this one. It's got the green white. That's pretty cool. They are so awesome. Autocorrect. Okay, autocorrect. Hit Tylos this time. Vice. Oh, that wasn't for me. Sorry. Let's see what else we got here. Justin Guilford. It hits hard. Okay, well, I'll let you guys have your conversation. Tyler, we are going to Michigan. There you go, Tyler. Bring the entire Scurry Face group all up to Michigan. Or get you into the haunt up here. So, well, cool. I do not know where Chris went, and I really wanted to do this promotion tonight. Chris, one more time, are you out there? Yes, I agree, Aaron. Michigan's where it's at. Between our two haunts on the west side, well, and there's a couple other good ones on the west side, we definitely could use all those actors to come through. And trust me, if we all made a plan, we could come up with a cool little traveling calendar for a lot of the actors that'd like to come through Michigan. I mean, you have Niles, you have a bunch of really good ones in Kalamazoo, and then the haunt up here in Grand Rapids. So yeah, we could have a lot of fun. All right, what is this one? Zach, if Fear Expo moves, would you like to keep it in the general area? That is a very good question. And it's one of the things that we've been looking at. We are to the point where we can't handle any more vendors. We've already filled the entire show floor, and we really don't want to move people upstairs. There are other things about Fear Expo that we're taking into consideration. And I think what I want to do is I want to talk about that when I have some more facts. But if we do move, I think it's important that we stay true to where most of our customers and attendees are coming from. So yeah, pretty close to the same area, give or take. I mean, we could move a little further south or a little further north. I don't want to give it away yet, but we should know pretty soon if we will end up needing to move. So watch for that in the next couple of weeks. I would like to see some sliders at the expo. Well, so would I. Let's get them out there. I am willing to try anything once. I mean, we did have a couple of good sliders over the last couple of years. I know we had Steve Fielder, who was probably one of the best known sliders in the industry. And then we got Slider Jesus, who's been out there. So now you just probably need a couple sliders to perform, I'm guessing. All right, let's see what this says. Oh boy, Doug just invited us. Yep, you guys heard it. The whole crew, let's get them up there. Is your haunt schedule for this? What is your haunt schedule for this season? Well, I don't know if we have it on we might not have the schedule up yet on our website, but I know if you go to our Facebook page, go to thehaunt.com, or excuse me, The Haunt on Facebook, you'll be able to find us. And we've already got our schedule up. It starts the last week in September, and we run through the first week in November. And then we're heading to Alabama for the Ultimate Haunt Tour. So, Scurry Face, I'm there, front and center. All right, that's from Vice. Without giving away, how do you plan to top Fear Expo 2024? Can we say concert? We are going to, I mean, the thing about it is every year Fear Expo, I think, gets better and better. And it's not just about what we do from our side. It's about the vendors. It's about the actors. It's about Scurry Face's team. It's about, everyone who shows up there makes that show better and better. I mean, I was talking with Dante tonight. Dante, tonight. Um, he's able to do a lot of photographs because what you all do. I mean, the costumes that come in and the sets and just the craziness of what we bring. I mean, those photographs happen because of all of us, not because of necessarily how, um, like Deontay said, you don't have those sets, you don't have those costumes, you don't have the people who can act. You can't make photographs like that. So it's so exciting, and I think that the question almost wants to turn around. Not what I can do to top 2024. What can you guys do to top 2024? What are you going to do to make this show the best one ever? And I can't wait to see what you're going to do. I actually can't wait to see what you guys are going to do in Alabama out there for the Ultimate Haunt Tour. We still have tickets left. Bus 1 and Bus 2. We got Tan's bus and my bus, and we're ready for Bus 3. Once those 2 buses get filled, we're going to start getting Bus 3 up and going as well. So Ultimate Haunt Tour, Alabama. It's going to be so much fun. You got to make sure you're there. 10 haunts in 3 days. And I did just issue a challenge to all of you. Let's see what you guys can do to make 2023 better. Or 2025, excuse me. I do have another idea, and it involves special effects. A lot like how we did the runway this year. David Quinn brought together an amazing runway show. I have an idea with special effects, and we're going to talk about maybe doing something like that with special effects, not just costumes, separately. So, all right. Well, Tan, thanks for stopping in and saying hi. I see you there. Alabama. Let's see what Scaryface has to say here real quick. All right. Alabama just haunts different, and you're all going to see it in November. We can't wait. Chris, I just heard a sound. I know that's you. There you go. So, not yet. We're not saying stay spooky yet. Give me a few minutes. Chris, we need to promote something. We talked about it. I need to get that out there. Can you go ahead and do that promotion before I bore everyone? Uh-oh. I think it's coming. I know you've been having troubles with your computer. Are you still there?
I am here. I'm trying to rearrange my desk. So let me get that done. Let me get the graphic up so we can promote it real quick.
Okay, perfect. And yes, I agree. We do miss Tan hosting, and Tan's going to be back very soon. That way you guys don't have to listen to me the entire hour. Next week's guest, let me go ahead and talk about that real quick. I know you guys are see this coming as far as we have the graphic out there, but I have in front of me, grab my calendar here. All right, so next week we have 9/16 and Imagination Halloween Superstore. 2 big guests next week, and Tan's not going to be here to help me. So next week, like I said, 9/16 is going to be in the house, and so is Imagination Superstore. The following week, we are going to have David Quinn in the house. He's going to be teaching a class. I have not got all the information yet, but David Quinn will be teaching a class on the 23rd. So 2 big weeks in a row. Like I said, we've already booked guests all the way into August. If you're interested in being a guest and you have not gotten a hold of us, make sure you do so we can fill up our August, September, and October dates. I think as we get closer, we're going to start having some of the haunts for the haunt tour on here, probably in August and September. See if I can steal them away really quick, or maybe even into October, just to get them on here. Okay. I would love to go ahead and promote this. Here we go. Let me see what we got here. Okay, this is from Purgatory Props. You can win this. You have to enter by May 18th. The drawing will be May 18th at 12 Central. And then I'm waiting to see, Chris, do you have the link for them to go ahead and enter, or can we put it into the comments? That's a very cool giveaway, by the way. Enter now. Right here it is. Here is the site. Win our first ever tech tool giveaway, a bundle worth $400. Oh, where did it go? There we go. Of quality name brand items to use working on electrical equipment, electronics, animatronics, you name it. So what you need to do is you need to go to www.props.rip-2024 giveaway, and you can win our very first Tech Tools giveaway from Purgatory Props. This is a cool setup. I mean, this is $400 worth of stuff right here, and we can all use this. So make sure anyone can win. Go ahead and go to that website right now. I'm wondering, let me see if I can't put it into here. And we'll go ahead and get it out. Oh, the link will be in our post as well. So if you want an opportunity to win, make sure you check that out. VFX does have an amazing giveaway as well. Make sure you go to VFX.com and you can check out their giveaway or check them out on Facebook. I do know that Yep, That's Scary is also promoting that giveaway. So a couple really big giveaways going on right now. But don't forget about Purgatory Props. The link is going to be in our post. Perfect. All right, Chris, how do we get this out of our way so I can end the show? Oops. Somehow he got that right across the front of us. All right, well, I don't, oh, there we go. I was trying to see where, if we could go ahead. It looks like, here we go, Molly Zombie is got the VFX giveaway as well. Look at that. Go to register at www.vfxcreates.com. And that's a really cool giveaway as well. I don't know. We're seeing Wild Kingdom over here to the right. All right, this has been a crazy show. Thank you guys.
We love you. We love you. Come see more stuff from us. Goodbye.
Okay. See what happens when you go away, Tayan. I mean, you left this show literally to the dogs. So next week, like I said, 9/16 is going to be here, and so is Halloween Imagination Superstore. So make sure you come out, check it out next week, and make sure you go and register for those two great giveaways. See everyone next week. Take care. That was fun. Bye. Oh, stay spooky. Thanks, Josh. Stay spooky, everyone.